Give me 1 minute. Okay. All right. So, so today's inquiry practice um, is about freeing up that extra energy in your body that maybe kind of clamps down. And also, when we start to free up this extra energy, then things show up. Like the thing maybe we were trying not to see, that we were using this little extra energy not to look at something. But now we're gonna let that go and like, oh, there's the thing I was trying not to see. So we're allowing, well, this is the invitation. You can do it to whatever degree feels good to you, allowing in all the things that you might want to avoid and allowing them in the spirit of equanimity with some deep fundamental self-care and self-love just to hold the space for ourselves. So yeah, it's I was talking to my pod mates in Michael Taft's RTS class, which is the reversing the stat class, and we were talking about how when what you see what you're ready to see, let's put it like that, and you things show up when you're ready to deal with them. So we can be progressing on our path and things are going really well, and then suddenly, oh, there's that thing I haven't quite dealt with. Now I have to integrate it. So it's a opportunity for integration whenever we come across these things, these sort of roadblocks or dragons within our path, which are nothing but some part of ourself. So that's the invitation. And we're going to use some sounds to go with this. Let's just start out with humming with a sound. And as we're in the hum, allow your tongue to undulate, to move around in your mouth in any way that feels good and interesting and fluid. So we can tune into the flow of the breath on the exhale and also the flow of the movement, very gentle movement with the tongue. If you don't want to move your tongue, you don't have to. Inhaling, let the exhale last as long as it feels good. And then whenever it's not a contest, whenever you're ready, inhale again through your nose. So what I'm noticing while I say I'm moving my tongue, what I'm actually doing is changing the location of the space between my tongue and the roof of the mouth. So like I can move it so that the space is more in the back, like towards my, oh, there goes my camera, towards my hard palate or soft palate, and then more towards the front of my mouth. So as I'm letting, like if this is my mouth and this is the roof of my mouth and this is my tongue, like maybe the air pocket's back here and then I let it move and the air pocket comes to the front. So it's like you're letting that space between your tongue and the top of your mouth just shift and letting the sound and the vibration move through different locations in your face and head as that is shifting. Take resting breaths whenever you need them. Every once in a while, take a little break and just let yourself rest with the sort of reverberation of the vibration, the sort of trace resonant feeling, letting the sound that isn't vibrating in your face anymore, letting the trace form of that sound, what it sort of is like in there, the echo, just letting yourself feel into that, inviting any micro movement into your body that's interesting or curious, any little internal adjustments. So we're fully bringing online our interoception, which is our, I see that my camera is off again, our interoception, and it's just doing the dance, which is what we feel inside our body, our breath, our heartbeat, our awareness of what's inside. Our proprioception, which is kind of our awareness of movement in relationship, like if I close my eyes, I can touch my fingers to my nose. That's my proprioceptive awareness. I can do it with my eyes open, or I can reach around and touch my back and know what's going on without having to look at it. Like, this is my body. That's proprioception. Then our kinesthetic awareness are aware of our movement in the space. And that could be internal movement in space as well. Like, kinesthetic awareness is this movement within. Oh, why is my camera doing that today? It's one of those days. It just wants to do that. So I might switch to the other camera. There we go. All right. So letting your body play with these different awarenesses, these different focuses, foci of our awareness, and allowing movement to bubble up in there. And it's improvisational movement. It's movement that's arising. It might be like, oh, there's no movement arising. So maybe you can nudge a little bit, invite some curiosity and some exploration into the fluid nature of your spine. Like, if we imagine our spine like a river, or our nervous system routed out, there's the big bulb of our brain then coming down through our spinal cord coming down through our vertebra, just feeling into that and allowing it to be curious. How do each of those things stack up on each other, each of your vertebrae, your vertebra? How are they stacking? How are the discs? And just imagine that that whole system is fluid. So even the bones have fluidity in them. They're not just dry and brittle. There's fluid, vitality, aliveness. And we could also think that there's like the fire of our spirit in there, the energy of our aliveness in there. So this dance of the water in our body with the sort of electrical currents, the impulses of our nervous system moving through our heartbeat. So bringing that stuff into our experience. We'll go with the hum for a few more breaths, and then we will switch to something else, maybe. We'll see how it goes. See if I can get this camera working. So the hum is letting yourself play with movement, letting yourself play with micro movement, letting yourself awaken the central channel, your awareness of this sort of energy body, and bring it to life, clearing any blockages that you notice on your path. Sometimes when I'm working in one area with my awareness, something shows up in another area that I go, oh, maybe I can let go of that. So we're just inviting ourselves to move towards novel movement, novel experience. If you know where you're going to go, then go somewhere else. Go retrograde, reverse it, take it backwards, go up if you're going to go down. Keep just changing change it so you don't have a plan, so that you will encounter territory that is new. You're not going into your old predictive pattern of being, the default mode network. Things Laura does things like this. We're going into the exploration. I'm letting my mouth kind of open and close on that hum too, so it's almost like I'm chewing the sound. Really gentle and delicious. freeing up the pattern of my face. So let your face be really weird and free. Like there can sometimes be releases in your nervous system. So something might do a little flutter or move in a way that seems very not normal. Let that happen. Let that just, what is normal movement of your face? Let it free up. It can be squishy, weird. It doesn't have to be symmetrical. Just give it the chance to express in different ways. So the same idea of the micro movement in our body, finding that freedom, same thing with our face. Inviting in your exploration any of those edges that you might struggle with to come in. If it feels like too much, don't go there. But if you feel like you can handle it, invite in those edgy parts. Invite in the awkward things, the things that aren't so wonderful that you feel about yourself or that you encounter in your patterning in your life. Just invite it in with equanimity. We're not going to do anything with it. We're just allowing it to be there. We're just letting it show up. And then we're being in our fluid, fiery, living animal body and allowing things to process and move through and with us. Any kind of movement in this exploration is totally welcome. We're not trying to shut anything down. We're inviting it all to the table. The like vast effulgence of life energy. Allowing the breath, the lungs, and the heart to be in this wonderful sort of co-regulatory state, the lungs hugging the heart in turn massaging the lungs and nourishing the lungs and eliminating waste from the lungs. So we've got this heart-lung dance happening. So here's another offering. I'm going with my hands on my gut and on my belly and on my heart. And as I'm in there, I'm also letting my heart and my belly push into my hands. So it's not just this retreat and receive, it's also this radiate out and participate, right? In the fullness of being really opening to feel, opening to be present with, opening to allow the internal spaciousness to grow energetically out into the world and come back so that we have this growing and shrinking sort of pattern that's happening with our perception and our awareness. Like we're radiating out in all directions and then we're coming back into self. And that is like, oh, this is the experience. That's what's happening. It could be that we're radiating inward, awareness really going into self. any way that it wants to play, let invite that in. There's this idea of this growing and shrinking that we use a lot in movement analysis and Laban work, like that there's this growing and coming back to self, growing and shrinking. There's a little cat battle going on over there in the corner. Let it in. All of it is welcome. They are foster kitties that are not litter mates, but they're from the same foster. So they were in the same place together. They came from the same place. So they have a very funny little relationship. So playing with that growing and shrinking, expanding outward, coming back in, and really allowing anything that shows up to be there. We can be compassionate to ourselves. We can be compassionate to our experience. We can, I want to say, bear witness to whatever's happening within our body. But really, it's not just bearing witness. We're in it. We're experiencing it. It is the arising. We don't need to be perfect. It's impossible anyway. And most of our actions are probably pretty much based on all the stuff around us also. So it's not like we're alone choosing what we do or say. It's like, no, we were affected by whatever we've encountered in the world, even what we were dreaming about, even what, happened when we were on the street or in the book that we were reading or wherever. These things affect us and they play out in our lives, in our way we respond to things. So it's not really like we're sitting there in charge of it all. Offering ourselves and ourselves the chance to participate without going into like control freak, must have it my way and let it be perfect. But we're like, well, this is what's happening. Okay, how do I be with that? So I want to add two more sounds, maybe three, to our soundtrack. So that was really free form, making movement however you wanted to with your tongue, mouth, jaw, spine. I want to work with an NG sound, a So this is what it looks like in my mouth. My tongue is kind of drawn back. And then I want to go from a to n, the N right behind my teeth, like now, now. And so I'm just going to work back and forth with just letting my tongue move. And it doesn't have to be patterned. Like it's better if I can go and I'm letting the na open up. So my tongue is behind my teeth, na. And then I drop it down, it makes a na sound. So na. So it's a whole little dance of my tongue kind of pulling back, moving forward, dropping down. So this is one way to allow those other places where they're more exploratory to open up by just giving your tongue some dexterity. But each of these sounds is going to be vibrating in a different place. Your tongue's in a different place. So playing with these sounds in a way that feels curious, delicious, hopefully, and interesting. Resting breaths whenever you need them. Giving yourself time to receive whatever was going on. Receive whatever it felt like, whatever you're feeling in your body. And I am going to probably not play any more with sound myself, although I might, but I'm going to add music and let us just have some free movement time to this is Jeff Gersh Ambient Fields. It is on Bandcamp, and I will try to put it in the description. Try to remember to put it in the description. This is album 1, song 1. So let the music move you if that feels interesting. Is it coming up? Can you hear it? Okay, it'll get louder as it gets going. I'm gonna just take it all the way down to the floor and get some rolling in. Let's see if I can. The camera switch, it's not gonna work. There's a complete revolt, a tech revolt. You can think of allowing your body to settle, even if you're sitting or standing or however you are on all fours, allowing your body to really settle into the ground. Nothing to lift up, nothing to uphold. Just let yourself sink and melt, pouring your body across the floor, letting go, dropping it. Drop whatever it is you're holding on to and just let go. Maybe there's some wonder in there, just the wonder of being in a human body, a living body on this planet. Giving your system, your nervous system, your body-mind system, a chance to slow down and to drop into a parasympathetic state. So that's the rest and digest, soothe and settle. There we go. Oh, me and the camera, the blessed camera. Drop down, slow down, let it all fall apart. Being in the senses, being in the sensation of being, in the movement and in the vibration. We are movement. Surrender. Take off your armor. Let go. Just be elemental. Be the breath. Be the fluids. Be the fire. Be the space. Be the earth. Be the flow. It's ongoing anyway. sometimes when we start to release some of the blockages or some of the holding patterns, then we have more energy. It can feel, it can make you anxious. Oh my God, I have more energy. What do I do with it now? So we don't want to go so fast that we suddenly let go of everything. We just want to take our time, let ourselves slowly adjust to new ways of feeling and being and connecting within our own system, not forcing it, just allowing it. And having more energy doesn't mean that suddenly you don't sleep anymore. Although sometimes you might sleep less because you have more energy. But you also might be able to sleep better if your energy is running more clear and clean. If there's less resistance to life, then sometimes we can let go more and sleep better. As you're in your experience, feeling the rise and fall of your breath with that slight growing and shrinking happening all the time as we breathe. If you have trouble connecting to some part of your body, like to your guts or your instincts or your heart, you can put your hands on there, give it some attention. Even your feet, right? Even groundedness, feeling your feet connected to the earth, having hands and feet. And if we think about these distal edges of our body, our hands and our feet, that's like the far reaches of our heart going out there. That's where the capillary ends are switching to come back. I mean, their capillaries are all over our body, but the farthest reaching ones are out in our tips of our toes and our fingertips. And when we have a relationship to these distal parts of our body, we're inviting in a healthier circulatory system, right? Because, there's awareness and aliveness in my toes and my fingers. And that's inviting the blood flow out to these edges. Then it can return. So we're using our whole body to be breathing, but also the system of our heart, our circulatory system, going out there, nourishing the body, and then taking away the waste and the CO2. This interactive aliveness that we don't actually have to think about or do anything. It's going to happen. Our autonomic nervous system is doing a lot, pumping our blood. And if we don't think about breathing, we're still going to breathe, digesting our food. But if we keep bringing the awareness out to those edges and then bringing it back, that's part of that growing and shrinking. It gives us this capacity to expand and to return, to radiate outward and to come back inward. I can come back safe to my little self, and then I can reach out into the world and come back. Hello, Peapod. I reach out into the world, I might encounter something or someone. I saw a deer when I was on my walk today in the cemetery. It wasn't far away, like maybe 25 feet away from me. And I was walking along and suddenly I just became aware. It was like kind of up a hill close by. And then I saw this creature. And at first it didn't look real because it was so still. I was like, is this like a plastic thing? And then it was like, nope, this is a deer and it's sitting there staring at me and I'm staring at it for a long time. I was like, well, I'm just going to stand here still until it moves, which took a very long time. And then it like kind of fluttered around and wandered off. But we were like locked on each other for, I don't know, several minutes. Creatures, awareness, connecting. Can we say yes to whatever shows up? It doesn't have to be a yes to everything. Like we also want to say no if we don't want to do something, but not fight reality. I guess that's it. Like, can we not resist the flow of life? In acting, in improvisation, there's an exercise which probably you've heard of called yes and, where in the improvisation, if somebody offers something, you say yes and you add to it so that it can continue to grow and be alive. So, can we yes and the situations that arise? I don't know if I can yes and the cat in my armpit, but playfulness is what showed up in my world. Some attention and some playfulness, some little cat world. A lot of people are like, when you're meditating and the cats come in there, you should kick them out. And I'm always kind of like, if I'm meditating and the cats are in there and I can't continue meditating, then I'm not meditating very deeply. If I'm not in my experience enough to let them be there too. So I kind of let them do whatever they want. They're spoiled. Yeah, wasn't expecting the play date to happen, but I certainly can appreciate it. Uh, Sometimes we think something's going to be one way, and then it turns out to be something totally different. And I think that's the whole point of being okay with whatever shows up.